What up, man? How you guys doing, man? Huh? How are you, man? Welcome to this video, man. Party knife here, man. Now, I want to show you guys something. Yeah, I want to show you guys something. See, you've all seen this knife before. This is my butterfly knife. But actually, I got a new one. You see, it's my new butterfly knife. What a joke! What a joke! No one saw that coming. That's cringe. We're moving on. We ain't got time for this today, boys, because today we got another tactical map guide, and it's on Engines of War. What up, guys? Party Knife here. Now, we're all politely gonna forget all about that intro. You know why? Because ain't nobody got time for being creative today. Today's not a day for being creative. Today is a day for tactics, for big brain stuff. It's Engines of War. War is serious stuff, guys. Okay? You ain't got time to be creative in war. You gotta think. And today's a big brain day. Okay? It's Tactical Tuesday. Tactical Tuesdays. That should be an. We should make that a thing. Tryhard Tuesday. No, tactical. Today is Tactical Tuesday. It's official. We're moving on to the video. We're doing Engines of War today. Now, Engines of War is a complicated map for a number of reasons. It doesn't have the hardest end event. It doesn't have any fixed boss spawns. It shouldn't be as difficult as it is. But here's the problem. It is incredibly hard, if you're playing the wrong character, to carry a team through the mid-event, the barrel event. That's where the biggest struggle is going to be. But this map, thankfully, has a lot of secrets, a lot of hidden tricks. So always make sure that you check out this house first. Make sure no one's around to fuck you up from behind. No. The first minions you're going to encounter are here. Now here you have a choice, obviously, between going right and going left. And you already have the first boss triggers on the right side here. So if you go right here, well, you're potentially going to trigger a boss, right? This is a good place to fall back to if you get an early horde. Because between here and the next decent spot to fight, that's up here, right? But you don't want to get stuck in the middle here, okay? So don't stop the fight here. If you're gonna fight, fall back, or you have to push through to this area right here, where again, where your back is safe. You can grab items here. Always make sure to do that. Don't jump down here prematurely, okay? I cannot tell you, don't jump down here prematurely. Aggro as much stuff from down there as possible up to you and fight it. Now, it's also a good idea to just walk over here if you want art, because there's an art spawn right there. And sometimes there's also an item spawn. So now there are essentially two paths to take through this area of the map. There's the right side and the left side. Because you don't want to get stuck in the middle, right? Unless you're fighting a boss, then there's absolutely no reason to stay in the middle. So you want to follow either the right side or the left side. Now, I think the left side is the safer side, but the right side has more items, right? So on the right side, you had more item spawns. But on the left side, that's both where you have spawn locations if someone has already died, and it's also the shorter path. So the way you want to look is either you're going to go right here, and then you're going to follow this path here, check for items back there. You want to worry, because to the top right here, specials drop down from up there. I'll show you momentarily. But then you want to follow this wall here as you're clearing and fighting stuff. Always check here, because there's pretty much always an item there. I actually think it is a sort of fixed spawn. And then you follow the path here, and whoopsie, and then you start moving up. Then there's the second path, which I would suggest taking if anyone dies on the way. And that's where you jump down here, you go left. That means you're safe from specials on the left side here. You move over here. This is a really good place to fight. This is one of the two best fighting locations in this area for, fighting patrols, fighting hordes, just generally clearing stuff out, right? Because your back is safe here. The other location is, I'll just show you the special spot. That's right there. So you want to watch out. If you hear an assassin here, it's most likely coming from there. And the second location is here, where you're sort of, you know, your back is safe. You can sort of have specials in a 180 angle, and you're going to have minions dropping down on the right side here, which also, again, gives you an animation where you can effectively take out a bunch of elites as they're dropping down. There's an arch spawn there. And obviously you quite often get a boss here. Now, this counts as the first trigger, so this is the first boss area. So you're going to have either a patrol or a boss here. Quite often, especially on high difficulties. Specials come from up there. Always check the right side here for items. There's almost universally 2 items on the right side there. Now, another good idea is to just move over here, and if there's a lot of ambient spawns down below, then aggro them. Let them come up to you, where you have the positional advantage. That's going to make it way easier to clear the whole area, because once you jump down, you're very likely going to get a patrol, not a patrol, sorry, a horde, or you're an ambush, and a bunch of special triggers, and yeah, that's going to happen. Now, there is, hypothetically, I'm not telling you this, but in theory, there is a tiny little glitch spot here you can use if you're in trouble, okay? So, but only use it for rescue, don't abuse it. There's also a potential boss spawn here, but that counts alongside the first trigger. So if you already had a boss there, you're not going to have it here either. Specials are going to come from over that area there. They're sometimes going to jump over the bridge. So if there's a Blightstormer, it might be standing on the bridge up there. So make sure to look for that. Now, if you end up down here, which is not a place you want to be, just to be clear, it can sometimes be hard to actually get out of here. Or it can feel that way, at least. Because a lot of these spots don't feel very easy to get out of. But right here is actually a spot where an easy jump, you don't even need to crouch, gives you an easy sort of path out that's really consistent. As you can see, there's also one here. And that's just good to know, because it's hard to see on the rocks which ones you can and which ones you can't get up. So it's this one right here. Now, when you get hordes here, they're going to come obviously from the path that you came from, but they're also going to come from the front. Now, people spawn over here, and there's items, so you should always check here. Now, in case you don't have the challenge, there's a... and I obviously failed to jump here first try. Seem to recall falling down one more. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. This is actually a kind of tricky jump. It's not that tricky, but it's one of those annoying ones where if you have to get to the right position here, and whoops, there we go. There's a challenge to do this, where you jump up and you grab this 𝒮𝔞𝔤𝔞𝔤𝔞𝔤𝔤𝔢𝔯𝒮𝔮𝔞𝔤𝔢𝔮𝔬𝒮𝔮𝔬𝒮𝔮𝔬𝒮𝔮𝔬𝒮𝔮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬𝒮𝔬 but I thought I'd show you guys anyways. Now, once you move into the tunnel, you're obviously going to clear from here first. You're going to have a bunch of special triggers, so you're likely to have a few specials as you move in here. Make sure you always check the left side there for items. There's a boss trigger right there. Try to avoid that. If you get this boss trigger, move outside again. You don't want to fight the boss inside. Follow the left path here. And I would say unless every single person on the team has maxed out items, so full potion, health, ammo, everything, unless that's the case, and bomb, then check the back area here, okay? There's almost always 2 or 3 items. Not always, but almost always. If you're trying to unlock Fortunes of War, and you need the rune for this map, the way to do that is to jump up here and grab this torch. So run up and grab this torch if you want to find the rune to unlock Fortunes of War. Now, generally, you want to jump and throw the torch. You can throw it simply by switching weapon. And unlike the torch on the Blight Reaper, for example, this one is not going to follow you if you leave it behind. So it's important that you bring it with you all the way, because if you lose it, then you're not going to be able to find the rune. Now that's a fixed spawn, that barrel, so it's always going to be there, and can be really useful to sort of hold off the horde behind you, because this is not an optimal spot to fight, and this is another guaranteed spawn. There's always a health pot there, 100% of the time. Now you don't want to fight down there. If you have to, you fight up here. Now, there's also an item spawn in there, as you saw, where the medkit was. And this is where the first tome is. Up here. And again, as soon as you drop down here, you are at a point of no return with another boss trigger. Now, if you get this boss trigger, which is one of the unlucky ones, because you don't have a lot of room to work with here, right? You just don't. So, but it is a fairly sort of wide area, right? So you are going to have to aggro the boss around and take him up and down, right? As best you can. Also this spot right here, which I just failed. This has saved my life before. It's a tiny detail, but nonetheless, moving up here and then jumping down the other side, that has saved my life. As well as this rock here, where you can actually, whoops, move around like that. It's rare, but it has legitimately saved me. You can also hide in here. No, don't do that. That was just a troll. Don't go in here. You're gonna die. You're very much gonna die if you jump in there. Now specials, they crawl up right here, so that's a good spot to store. Just not specials, minions in general that are coming from below. Now if there's a special and you can't see it, like a Blightstormer, look down there, because she might very well be there. We used to have a dare about jumping on the outside of this tree here. It's doable, but it's very hard. But you get to the other side of the bridge here. First thing you do, you just go left. And you follow this path from here, all the way over here. You want to worry up there, because that's where minions are going to come down from. And of course the front over there. Then you want to check this chest here. It's also an art spawn. And then you want to get away from there, because you don't, you're pushed up against the ledge. That's not good. Then you want to follow this left side here. Now specials cannot come from the left side here, except for that one spot I showed you earlier. Stuff is not gonna drop down anywhere here, right? So you have this sort of wall of protection on your left side. This is a guaranteed potion spawn, so it's there 100% of the time. And this is a really good obstacle to sort of put distance between you and other minions. Then you want to fight your way over here, where again there's always healing, and quite often there's ammo here, either an ammo box or just some loose ammo. It's not a guaranteed spawn, but it's very often that I find ammo there. Now before we get to how you deal with a boss spawn here, because you very often get a boss here, we'll get to that in a moment. But let's start out with the room here. Now you want to take the torch and you want to drop it in there. And then the fireplace should light up. Then you want to look over here. And then you want to remember these 3 statues. Now, what I've done every single time I've done this for someone, I've taken a screenshot. Better safe than sorry. That way you have it in case you forget. And you just don't have to worry about it then, right? Like it's just way easier, way safer. It'd be a shame to get all the way to the end only to not remember the correct the correct order. Now, obviously the Grim up here, and if you have a boss in this area here, there's a particular rotation that I like to do. Right, so if you have aggro on the boss, generally what you want to do is you want to follow the path down here. You want to be careful not to get too close to the edge, because you don't want to get pushed over. Then you follow it around here, then you get up to the spot we were at before. Jump over this rock here. Try to, you don't have to do this, but it's a good idea to sort of get the boss to do as many animations as possible. Move your way over here. I like to jump up here if possible. Just again, putting as many sort of obstacles between you and the boss. And then you simply rotate around in a circle like that until everything is clear and you can deal effectively with the boss. Of course, if it's a Storm Fiend, you just kill it. Now, there's almost always ammo back here. I actually think it is a fixed ammo spawn. Don't hold me up on that, but I do think it's a fixed ammo spawn. If someone has died prior to this area, so that's to say on the other side of that lock, then they're going to spawn right here. Right in this area here. So the initial spawns are going to be here, but once you start the event, they're going to be in the in the other side where the second barrel is. Not where the second barrel is, where the second barrel needs to go. Now, it's a good idea to just clear out the worst. If you hear an assassin, take them out first. But once you go, you have to go, and you have to move as a team, okay? So what I like to do personally is I like to move up here. First things first. There's a guaranteed ammo crate. There's usually an item over there, and you have your crate here. Now, if the team moves up here with you, which is great, you want them to do that. And the reason you want them to do that is because that means all the minions are going to start to sort of, they're going to start to concentrate and crawl up to you guys, right? So all the minions are coming to you up here, which means that you have a window to do like this. It's not always that simple, but that's how I like to start it out, trying to do that at least. Just a throw in each direction. Again, if it fails, if one of them fails, it doesn't matter. Then you take the first barrel here, then you don't fail that, like, no one saw that. I didn't, wait, we're just gonna redo that. Right? We were here, the barrel was here. This first barrel is super easy to get to the target. You really only need a moment here. There's usually 2 or 3 storm vermins, and you do a jump throw from over here. And usually I fight the storm vermins, I check for items in here. Then I follow the right side when I get out, because minions are going to come in at you from the left. You don't want to get stuck here. That's really important that you notice that. Right? Because, you know, that's not obvious necessarily, that that's a fixed object. So make sure you don't get stuck there. Check for potions there. Also check that spot right there. That's also really common. Almost always a potion there. Quite often at least. So that's worth a check. And then I, like, you know, yeah, essentially just follow the right side all the way around. And move on to the next barrel. Now, if someone has died, I would go for the left side. If no one has died, I'd go for the right side. Why? I don't know. That's the, like, if someone has died, you want to go to the left side because that's where your teammates are, right? And you want to get to them and rest them as quickly as possible. But I think the quicker and sort of more logical route is to go for the right one first. Now, obviously, you have teammates, so it is possible that while you did the first one of your teammates took it upon themselves to do this one, which is the optimal way to do it, right? Because that way, you've done those 2. Now there's only 1 left, and the last one is where people will respawn, which means that's the one you want to do last, right? Because that means if you can manage to get 2 and 2 and get 1 barrel in each, then even if someone dies along the way, then the last person just has to make it here with the last barrel, and you can rest everyone. Even if you have to leave the barrel, again, that's better. You want to get your team up first. That's the important bit. Now, people are always going to spawn here until you blow the last barrel, right? So until the last barrel is put in and that blows up, everyone will respawn right here 100% of the time once the event has started. If you're struggling, if you're just getting overwhelmed, you can do a rotation that we do when we're playing the map on Onslaught, where you'll sort of keep going around here in a circle for as long as you need to, and you'll rest people once you get to the spot right here, where again people will revive, then you rest them and you try again until you can get out of here safely. Doesn't matter how many times you have to do it, it just has to work once. And always remember, when you're moving with barrels, don't hold them and walk, okay? Pick it up, jump, throw, repeat. You don't want to hold the barrel. For the less you're holding the barrel, the better. Even if there are no minions whatsoever, it doesn't matter. Jump, throw, boss triggers here. Now the thing about these 2 boss triggers here is if it's like a chaos spawn or minotaur, then you don't have time to get into the open. Now it spawns up here. Now there are 2 more boss triggers, as you can see right there. Now if you get the 2 first boss triggers, the ones all the way down here, then it's a really good idea, if it's a minotaur or a chaos spawn, to just back the hell off and get down to here, right? Where you have the space you need to fight the boss. Whereas if you trigger one of these, then you obviously move forward up to that open area. Make sure you check the left side. That's where you have the final tome, no, the second tome. And there's an art spawn on the right side, as well as a potion spawn. Item spawn, there. Now, if you get a boss here, you simply use the open area in a circle and try to do a rotation the best you can, while your team clears out minions. So there's no secret trick here. Now, specials aren't going to come from the back here, so that area is special safe. They are, however, going to come from up here on your left and, you know, right up there on the right now. And they're also going to come from the front and the back, of course. So those are the primary angles you wanna have in your mind when you hear a particular special spawn. And you know, you can use rocks like this here to sort of, again, make some distance. You don't want to get stuck here though, That's really important. That's one of those where you're like, I can get through, and then, no, I can't. And then, yeah, that tree, legitimately that tree right there, has killed me in weaves multiple times. So don't get stuck there. Don't be stupid like me. Now, once you get here, if you want to have the Grim at least, then you have to move up on the right side. And regardless, I prefer this path here, but we'll get to that momentarily. Check this chest here, and the second Grim is right over here. Right, now this first jump, I don't know why people always fail it. I'm not sure why. You see there, you can sort of, you accidentally butt in your head if you jump too early, but it's still possible to get in if you don't just stop midair and drop straight down. So you simply jump up the rest of the way and grab the Grim. Now I would have shown you, but I did a cutting mistake, I think, because as I just noticed, I just had to do a retake here because I was surprised that that I didn't actually jump all the way up to show you the Grim. But now a little bit further ahead. Sorry for the skip here. A little bit further ahead, there's a chest hidden in the back here. So that's good to know. That's the way you get up here is. Oh wait. Okay, and back. Now that will. Now once you've taken the Grim, you obviously have two options here. You have a straight and you have left. Now, moving left here, you have a really good area to clear out a bunch of hordes. And in here, you have another boss trigger, which you obviously want to worry about. There's usually ammo in the back there. But I like to take the other path. Most teams like to go left over there, which is fair. You don't necessarily want to split here. So if your whole team goes that way, follow them. Always check that spot in the back there on the right side. There's an odd spawn here. And here you have drop, sort of point of no return. You can theoretically get back if you go around, but over here you have patrols quite often, and a potential boss, you know, one or the other. So always be prepared that this area, and it can be very hard to avoid the patrol here. So watch out for the patrol. Be prepared to fight the patrol here, right? Now if you jump up here in the back, there's like a chest down in the other end, and like a little hidden path here, which I don't know. I don't know if it's useful, but now you know. You can also jump up here, and there's like a chest down there. Not particularly useful. I have no idea if this is a box, but I've never been up here in an actual game. I just figured, you know, I saw I could get up there, and then I was like, I wonder if I can, you know. Then I went up there. Yeah, anyways. Now, but this path here can actually be really useful for dodging bosses and just getting a little bit of extra space. Generally, you want to avoid the right side here where minions can drop down. Again, they can also come from up there, so that's a bad spot. If you have to push forward, you either want to fight all the way in the back here, stuff's not gonna, your back is safe here and you have all the good angles, right? So that's where I would fight if I was in that position. If you take the path up here, you can of course move up this ladder staircase here, and then here's a decent place to fight. Again, your back is safe here. Stuff is gonna come from right and left. There's a arch spawn here, and for some reason I never find myself taking this path here ever. Don't know why. Don't like it. Not sure why, but that's, I don't know. I usually jump down here, check the potion item spawn over here, and then there's this weird lock here, right? Now this jump always annoys the hell out of me for some reason. You can do like a crouch jump if you want to get up on the rock. Ah! There we go. You can do it with a normal crouch jump. I was just lazy, okay? Now for some weird reason there's an item spawn inside the lock, okay? Don't ask me why, but there is. So you can grab it through the lock. And there's also like a little nice path hidden over here. You see? Yes, yes. Not very useful, but now you know. It's there. And watch out, you should be able to hear the patrol if it's here, but don't let it surprise you, and if it does, jump down to the open area. You don't want to fight it here. This is a really bad space to fight a patrol in. Now, obviously, once you get to this part here, if you're trying to get the rune, then you want to, you know, go find that screenshot. Now, the way you do that is simply open it here, and then you can upload it if you need to. View online library, and then you can see on the picture here, you simply look. Okay, so it's that guy, and that guy, right? So you simply look at the combination from left to right, starting with left, ending with right, and you click these three in the order from left to right, and you just click E on these, and then it opens. And that's how you find the rune.
We're close now. I can feel it. There. The rune. Get closer so I can read it.
Then you examine the rune, and that's it. Then you just need to beat the map. Always, now, this is the last and final area. Now, always check the left side here. There's sometimes a potion here. Always check the right side here. There's sometimes a spot, a piece of art as well as an item. I like to walk over here, especially if I'm playing like an archer or stuff like that, and start shooting. I think this is a point of no return. It is theoretically possible to come back, I think, but that doesn't really matter. It is essentially, for all intents and purposes, it's a point of no return. Now, the safest path to follow here is to follow the right side of the mountain. We're just gonna skip that. Now, as you noticed, you have yet another boss trigger here. Now, keep in mind what I told you guys in some of the previous videos, that there's a maximum of 3 sort of there's a bunch of triggers, right? Each area has a bunch of triggers, but there's sort of, it's split into area 1, area 2, and area 3. And if you get a boss in the first area, then you can't get a boss in the second area, and you can still get a boss in the third area, potentially, right? So that for 2 bosses. If you don't get a boss in the first area, then you can get a boss in the second area. If you get a boss in the second area, then you can't get a boss in the third area, because the 2 areas are next to one another. And if you don't get in the first and you don't get in the second, you can still get in the third, right? So keep a mental tap of these things. I believe the 3 areas are, there's the first area, that's in the beginning, all the way through the cave until you drop down. Then you have the second area, which is from the drop down until the event, the mid event with the barrels. And then you have the third area, which is after the after you finish the mid event, right? Now, if you want to take a little shortcut here, you can jump right on this angle here. That's an easy way to get up on the lock. This is a bit risky. You've seen me get wrecked here before, in fact, with that assassin that came crawling up here and wrecked me as I was playing Pyromancer. Stand on this tree. But the safer path to take as a team is to follow the right side all the way. And there's actually also a little box spot up on this tree here where you can actually, if you have a boss, it can't reach you, oddly enough. Like up here somewhere. But again, don't try this. This is very risky, okay? And you have to be in the exact right spot. But it does work. But yeah, follow the right side over here. Watch out, because minions can actually spawn up here. Some ambient spawns. They're not going to spawn there and come from there, but there can be ambient spawns up there, so they can jump down from the side, so watch out for that. And again, art spawn inside that other lock, also an art spawn up here. Both here and in the lock behind me have potential art spawns. And this is the final patrol trigger. The boss trigger was further up ahead. There's a potential item over here and a chest that you want to check. And a piece of art as well. And an art spawn. And that brings us to the end event. And the last art spawn is actually right here. That's the 20th potential art spawn location. Now, as for the end event, this end event is lost way too many times. Completely unnecessarily, okay? Completely and utterly unnecessarily. There's a barrel over here. There's a barrel in here. Always a bunch of healing here. Sometimes also a potion. Now, if you walk around on the right side, there's a chest here with items in it. There's another barrel down here. There's usually not items down here. Sometimes there is one, a single healing or something, but there aren't a lot of items down here. But you got a barrel. And then, of course, there's also a barrel here. There we go. Collect all the barrels. No. Healing here. There's a challenge where you have to stand here. And then you have to go 1, 2, 3, jump. 1, 2, 3, jump. 1, 2, 3, jump. 1. And the challenge makes no sense. It's super hard to hear, but there's like a drum beat that'll start playing in the background. And it's only playing if you haven't completed the challenge, as far as I know. And you have to do that for roughly a minute and a half, where you jump to the beat. If you miss the beat, you have to start over. And that's how you get one of those challenges. Something with dance. Something, I forgot what it is. It's been so long since I did it. I just remember it was really difficult to figure out what the hell you had to do. Obviously, you have this area up here that also has a chest. Now, usually, what teams do, which makes no sense. I'm sorry. I'm about to trash talk 90% of the Vermintide community. I'm sorry. But why is it that every single team thinks it's a good idea to fight right here? This is literally the worst place in the whole area you can fight. Okay? Because it's the only place where you have a valley of death on one side. It's the only place where you have a valley of death right behind you, where everyone can die from a simple push. I know the bell is here, but you don't have to be here, okay? You don't want to be here. This is absolutely horrific place to be in terms of fighting, okay? It's like everywhere else is better than being here. The single only reason you should be over here is to rest other people, okay? Also, just stay away from up here. Don't go up here. It's a bad position. Once you ring the bell, agree with your team where you're gonna go. Just don't stay here, okay? Trust me. Don't stay there. It's completely unnecessary. Like, there are plenty of good positions you can be fighting in. They're like around the edges. But I think, especially as a solo player, and I don't mean as being completely alone, but in the context of carrying the game, right? Being like wanting to win. Like, you can fight over here, for example. It's one location. You can fight over here, another location. There's plenty of decent locations, but in terms of actually just winning the map on your own, even here is a better location. That way you're still close to the spawns. But on your own, there's a simple rotation that you want to do. And we do this, again, when we're practicing Onslaught. This is the rotation that we're doing. And you go into the house up here. You can stop right here. This is sort of box spot, sort of not. You're not safe here, let's put it that way. But minions also can't crawl here at the same time. So this is a good way to rest people. But this is not part of the rotation. This is usually where the first person is rest from. Now, the shortest rotation to do, like the shortest version of this rotation, sorry, is essentially to move in here. And again, remember, you want to have as many obstacles between you and everything else as you possibly can. That is the trick. That is the goal. That is what you're trying to do. Now, technically, you can do like this, but that's not sensible. So don't. It's not viable if you haven't practiced it. So don't try to do that. The rotation you want to do. Sorry for sidetracking here. The rotation you want to do is in through the house, out here, straight around. You can jump up on the boxes if you have the room. Over here, make sure you don't fall down. That hole right there, don't fall down to that hole. Because if you fall down to that hole, you could very well be screwed, okay? Then you can sort of use that spot up there as you need. And then you keep doing this rotation. Now, if you don't feel comfortable going up here, you can go around the house and in that other door, right? But just keep rotating. Don't stop. There's only a time limit on your... Like, you need to survive for a certain amount of time, and then the ship arrives. Even if everyone is dead, just need to stay alive for long enough to either rest them or to get to the ship. The ship will arrive. If you drop down here, for the love of God, try to get out this path here, okay? Don't go the other way, okay? If you go the other way, I'll show you what happens. If you go this way here, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get stuck right here. Like, this is a death trap, okay? So don't try to do that. Just do the rotation as many times as you need. Save an ulti. And once you get up here and you have an ulti, of course depends on your ulti, but then you're almost certain with a bit of movement you can get over here and you can win the map. And that's the end game, winning the map. So just rotate, 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 or find a better space to fight with your team, and hopefully you should be just fine. Hopefully that's enough to get you guys through the map. Now, one thing I will say is that I think a lot of the consistency of winning this map comes down to 2 points. The first being the event, where you have to practice with barrels. Like, the mechanics behind effectively moving a barrel while sort of surrounded by enemies is really hard. That's something that takes a lot of practice. So, and you need either that or really good teamwork. And always just focus on staying alive in those situations. Again, it's okay if someone dies to get the barrel to the spot it needs to go, but that only works if the rest of the team are then focused on the revive rather, than fighting stuff. So movement is more important than clearing for the event, because you're not going to be able to clear everything out. It's just not happening. It's about completing the task while staying alive. It's not about clearing all the minions out, because that's just not going to happen. Clear out the worst of the worst, like monks, for example. You might want to kill them, and then ignore the trash. Move around it. And it's sort of a similar situation with the end event. It's just about staying alive for long enough. Stay alive, and you will get the win. Assuming you don't, drop off into the water. Anyways, I hope this will be enough to get you guys through the map. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will sit here and play a bit with my butterfly knife. Anyways, Blight Reaper's coming up next. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, I love you guys. Stay awesome. Peace out.